Tal Kadosh Boker Or, Daf Yomi Masechet Shevuot, Daf Kavchet Amud Aleph 2081. If you remember, we were just speaking about Rava on Kav Zayin Amud Bet on the bottom, where it said that if a person came and he swore, right, ala kikar, that he's not going to eat it, and then he ate it, and he left a kezait, and then he did hatarat nedarim, and then he ate the entire rest of it, right? So then we said en yishal alea, and then again he did not ask about it. So he comes and says, in such a case, the fact that he did not ask on the second one, so even though he said Shevuos shelo ochal, and then he said Shevuos shelo ochalna, right? And remember, the ochalna was the entire thing. Ochal is just a kezait, right? So therefore, it's going to be chal. So Amaleh Ravacha bered Rava Ravashi. What was the case? If he said shelo ochal, right, and then he says mikazai kam avdal yisuda, so then the first kezait he already did the yisud. And if he said shelo ochalna, so what do I care about the kezait? You had to finish the entire thing. Filu kol shunami. So this is where we're starting off again. It says, "Ibait ema shelo ochal, v'ibait ema shelo ochalna." Right? What does that mean? If you want to say we're talking about that he made a shavua shelo ochal, or we're talking about that he made a shavua shelo ochlena, that he's not going to eat the entire thing. Ibait ema shelo ochal. What's the case? Migud mehanya leshela kezait batra mehanya leshela nami akezait kama. Meaning, since it helps the shela, shela means that he's doing a tarat nedarim. Since it helps Tarat Nedarim to do with the last kezait, which means that he didn't eat it yet, to permit eating it, so it's also going to help for the first kezait that he already ate, to be potero to lemafreya retroactively. Why? Because after you already ate the kezait rishon, you're not allowed to do the rest of the kezatim, right? He says, v'baitema, or if you want, you could say shelo ochlena, right? Ishiel kezait chashiv lichule aleh. If there's a kezait left, he could come and do a Tarat Nedarim on that kezait. But if there's no kezait left, lo chashiv lichule, you cannot come and ask. Meaning, when you want to come and you want to do a tarat nedarim, it has to be a certain amount in order to permit you. If it's going to be such a small amount, it's not going to help to start asking for a tarat nedarim. So therefore, it doesn't help. So mate face. So we're going to ask the following question. Misha nadar shte nezirot. You remember we spoke about this yesterday. A person comes and he accepts upon himself 2 nezirut. So now remember, every stam nezirut is how many days? 30 yom. So therefore, 2 nezirut is going to be 60 days. And in between, he has to stop and he's going to bring the korbanot and all those things. So Misha Nedash Nezuman Arishona Vifrishala Korban, he separated a korban. And afterwards, Nishala Rishona, he did a Tarat Nedarim on the first nezirut. So the second one becomes instead of the first one. And then he's already used the Chubah. He finished it. So says the Gemara, it comes out that you see from here that it's like Achla Kula. And you could still do a Tarat Nedarim. You told me that in order to do a Tarat Nedarim, you need a very important amount left over. He says over here, why? He says you finish the entire thing, right, the entire first 30, and then you did a Tarat Nedarim, and it's going to be okay. So answers the Gemara, what are we dealing with? Beshelo kiper. You didn't bring the korban. Because since you didn't bring the korban, that's why I could still do a Tarat Nedarim on the entire Nezirut. Says the Gemara Vatanya Kiper. I thought that you said that you did bring the korban out because it says that Misha Shenadash Rezo Umanari Shonavi Frishala Korban. So it's was Kiper. So he said no, Bishilo Gilach. He didn't cut off his hair. For Rabbi Eliezer, it's according to Rabbi Eliezer that he says Tiglachat is meakev, meaning as long as you didn't cut off the hair after the korban, that means you did the nezirut of 30 days. You brought the korban and you didn't cut. As long as you didn't cut off your hair, it's still ma'akev. You still didn't finish your nezirut. So ask the Gemara v'atanya gilach. I thought that it was written gilach. So Ravashi comes and he says, one second. What was the question? 2 neziruts? Nezirot kanamit? Mi garam l'shniya shelo tachul rishona ve'ena. He says, who was the one that caused the first one to be chal? He says only the first one, but the first one's not there anymore. So therefore, because it was only the first one that since he was mechayev for sure the nezirut, so therefore now he's going to be mechayev again. But he says, but now there's nothing else. So he says, because that you cannot ask a stira from one nezirut to another nezirut. Ameimar says, afilu achla kula nishal aleh. Even if you ate the entire bread, you could still do a tarat nedarim. Meaning nothing's left. You ate the entire thing. You could still do a tarat nedarim. He says, why? If you ate a bishogeg, it's mechusar korban, meaning you still have to bring the korban. So therefore, right? And therefore, since you still have to bring the korban, you're still allowed to do a tarat nedarim, because you didn't finish it. Okay? He says, if you ate it b'mezid, mechusar malkut, you get lashes. Remember, if you do something b'mezid, it's lashes. If you do it because it's a negative commandment, so you get lashes. And if it was b'shogeg, korban. So he says, Aval, however, though, kaftu al amud. What happens if they come and they put him on the amud in order to give him the lashes? Lo, then he can't. Like Shmuel says, Damar Shmuel, kaftu al amud, veratz mi badin, right? Patur. He's going to be patur from the lashes. Why? Because the fact that they tied him onto the amud, he already was embarrassed. And his embarrassment is instead of the lashes. So imagine right now they come and they tie him up to the amud. And somehow he breaks free and he runs away. You don't give him lashes anymore. Right? Why? Because the fact that he came and he received the embarrassment, which is basically the entire concept of he's patur. The entire concept of the malkut is until embarrassment. It says, "V'nikla achicha le'enecha." No? You remember we spoke about that if a person got one lash, and all of a sudden he did excrement or he did urine. So then we said a machloket for the women, the men, but whichever one is, well, that's what we said. I said it's a machloket, right? So no, there's a machloket. No, there's a machloket. So therefore he says, since right now, right, a person did that, it's v'nikla achicha le'enecha. He's already embarrassed, so therefore he becomes patul from the rest of the lashes. Okay? So the same thing, what Shmuel is saying, not everyone holds with Shmuel, obviously, but according to Shitat Shmuel is that the second that he was already tied up, that's already an embarrassment that he becomes patur from lashes. Okay? Says the Gemara. Velohi. He says it's not true. Why? Hatam rats. Hacha lo rats. Over there, he ran away. So the fact that he was a fugitive and running away, that in itself is already an embarrassment as well. Meaning not only he was embarrassed because he was tied up to the pole and he was going to be given lashes, he was also embarrassed in the fact that he had to run away. So he says over here, he didn't run away. They just tied him up. So therefore, it wasn't a real bizayon yet. So for as long as he didn't get the lashes, it's not considered any type of lashes. Amar Rava. Rava says, Shevuah shelo ochal kikar zo. Im ochal kikar zo. What happens right now? He's got two kikarot. One of them is a Tanai, and the Tanai is only going to be Chal, the Shevuah. And the second one is going to be of Isur. Right? So now what happens? Everyone understood? You've got two loaves of bread. And he comes and he says, Shevuah, he's not going to eat this loaf of bread if he eats this one. He eats this one. So he's got one loaf, which is a condition. Meaning if he eats that one, then the other one is a Shevuah. Okay? One more time. I've got two loaves. Right? So he comes and he says, Shevuah shelo ochal kikar zo. He makes a Shevuah. He's not going to eat this kikar if he's going to eat this one. There are two loaves. If he eats A, Shevuah, then he won't eat B. לא, ברגע שהוא אוכל אחד, אז חל התנאי, השבועה על השני, שהוא לא יכול לאכול את השני. יהיה.
אם אני אוכל את זה, אני נשבע שאני לא אוכל את זה.
בדיוק.
כאילו אוכל חצי מנה, אני לא אשת עוד לאף.
בדיוק. So the first one, אכל את הראשונה בשוגג. What happens if he ate the first one בשוגג? Right? ואת השנייה במזיד. The second one, he ate במזיד. Right? So what happens? Patur. He's going to be patur of lashes. Why? The Shevuah was not chal klal. Because since he ate the one of the Tnai, and it was actually he forgot about the Shevuah, so it was a mistake. So it never actually came out. Meaning, he says, if I'm going to eat this, this is prohibited. He ate this, but he ate it by accident. Since he ate it by accident, lo itchila Shevuah bichlal. So therefore, even though he ate the second one, b'mezid, right? One more time. He ate this one b'shogeg. Lo chala Shevuah. He ate the second one b'mezid. But even though he ate the second one b'mezid, at the end of the day, he's patur. Because if the Shevuah was not chal, so therefore, obviously, he's going to be patur in such a case. Because there was no Shevuah. The Shevuah has to be chal. The Shevuah is only going to be chal if he ate it b'chavana. If he ate it b'shogeg, there's not going to be a Shevuah. That was 1 second. That's going to be the first case. Please let me finish, and then you can ask questions, everyone. Second case. Rishona b'mezid ushniya b'shogeg. What about the other way around? Meaning, one more time. For me to be chal Shevuah, I need something to be done b'chavana. Because kol Shevuah zeh ta'ut. אני שואל אותו, למה עשית? Okay, it was a ta'ut. I didn't want to swear. I made the oath, but I didn't want it to be chal. All right? It was a mistake from the beginning. He says, what's the second one? The first one I ate b'mezid. On purpose. So is the Shevuah chal? Yes, right? I did it b'chavana. But the second one, I ate b'shogeg. So therefore, in that case, I'm going to be chayav a korban. Why? Because now it's going to be chalal Shevuah. Once it's chalal Shevuah, exactly. So now he says, what happens if I ate both b'shogeg? Gam arishona v'gam ashniya patur legamre. Right? Why? Lo chalal Shevuah, because obviously the first one around it was b'shogeg, and also we don't call it adam b'shvuah, so therefore he's going to be shtehem b'shogeg. So therefore, well, the first one better. He said if he's going to eat this one. אתה צודק שהראשון בהיתר, but when he did the heter b'shogeg, so it's not going to be chal l'shavua on the second one. Yeah, because of one more time, right? You have there's going to be four cases here, right? Remember right? Remember, there's always going to be four cases. I've got two loaves, so there's always going to be four cases. I knew both of them, meaning shtem b'mezid, shtem b'shogeg, shogeg mezid, mezid shogeg. It's always going to be four cases, right? That's just mathematics, right? You're going to have four cases here. So therefore, he went and he said one more time. In the first case where shogeg and then mezid, so there's no shavua. It's going to be patur. There's no shavua. If it's going to be mezid shogeg, right, he's going to be chayav. If it's going to be shogeg, patur, right?
מזיד, שזה בסדר, הוא לא עשה שום עבירה, ושוגג, למה הוא עשה? הוא נשבע, בסדר, מותר לו. ולמה שוגג, ולמה השני בשוגג?
Because he was עבר על השבועה, לא משנה, אבל הוא עבר על השבועה. היה שבועה, שבועה חל. Right, the שבועה was חל. שתיהם במזין, מזין, so now he's going to be חייב. אכלה לתנאי, והדר אכלה ליסורי, it's going to be מחייב. אכלה ליסורי, והדר אכלה לתנאי. What happens if he ate the isur though before the tnai? So that's going to be a machloket Rabbi Yochanan v'Reish Lakish. Meaning like this. We were always talking about that the tnai always came before the isur. Remember, if I eat this is the tnai, then this is going to be a kamasul. My shevuah is on this. So we were always talking about that you eat this before this one. What happens if I did the opposite? What happens if I came first and I ate the isur before eating the tnai, and then I ate the tnai? Right? No, you made it to the shevuah. Right? Right? Now the question though is, right? Exactly. But 1 second. So now the question is like this. When I ate the isur, there was still not a shevuah because I didn't have the tnai yet. So that's the question. So it's a machloke between Rabbi Yochanan and Reish Lakish. Right? Leman. One more we're going to see. So he says, 1 second. 1 second. So he says, let me just finish what we're reading. Yeah. Thank you for your permission. So he says, right, one more time. So he says, why is it a machloket exactly? If you remember, we spoke about hatrat safek. You remember we spoke about, right, there was a machloket, is hatrat safek called hatra or not. When he came and he ate the isur, what am I going to tell him? I'm going to tell him, by the way, when you're eating this, right, you're going against your shevuah, I want to come and I want to give you lashes. 1 second. Whoever said he's going to eat the other one? One more time. He's eating the isur. If he never ate the tnai, the shevuah was never chal. So therefore, he just ate this. But it's not even isur. It's nothing. We're calling it an isur because when he eats this, retroactively, this becomes an isur. But that's called hatrat safek, because when I want to come and I want to give him a warning, it's a safek bichlal im zeyeh isur. So I'm going to tell him, don't eat this. He says, why not? Because if you eat that one, so now this is isur. Whoever said I'm going to eat that one. So it's called hatrat safek. Hatrat safek was, if you remember, we said, one of the shitot was, it's not going to be considered a hatra. So therefore, only afterwards, limafreya, right, was it. So because of that, lemanda maratrat safek shematra, you're going to be chayav, right, which is going to be Rabbi Yochanan. But according to the Shakish, that he says, it's not called hatra. So here he's going to be patur. Why is he going to be patur? How do I ever obligate you? Lashes. You need hatra'ah. How do I give you hatra'ah? I'm going to tell you, don't eat this one. Why not? Because if you eat this one, so then this was a sur. Whoever said I'm going to eat that one. Whoever said. So now I'm going to eat this one. I didn't do anything wrong. You're right. When I eat this one, now chalala yisur is this. But the entire time it was hatrat safek. So since it was hatrat safek, I can't do anything. So says the Gemara now, utlaan zo bezo. But what happens now when he was nishba? He put both of them together. Meaning, until now, we were talking about that he said, if I'm going to eat this one, it's going to be challah this one, right? What happens if he said both? If I eat this one, this is a sur, or if I eat this one, this one's a sur. So I did both. It's a two-way street. Not only just one way. Which one? Yes.
Do them either way.
Right? Either way. So he says, Lan zo bezo, lo chal zo im ochal zo, velo chal zo im ochal zo. Ve'achal zo bezadon atzma, ushigat chaverta, vezo bezadon atzma, ushigat chaverta. So again, he ate this one, bezadon atzma, and the other one b'shogeg, and the other one the other way around. Which means he did eat both. But each one, he ate it, right? When he remembered the Shevuah, so he was mezid to do each one with the kikar of the Isur. But he forgot the achila of each one at the time. So therefore, it's actually going to be shogeg again, right? Why? He's going to be patur on both of them, whether it's going to be from the korban or from the malkut, because the Shevuah is going to be chalal kikar shniya, is not going to be chalal at all. Because when he ate the first kikar, he forgot of the Shevuah, the second one. And when he ate the first one, he forgot the Shevuah of the first one. So therefore, he's not chayav a korban. And therefore, obviously, he's not going to be chayav also the malkut, right? Because each one, meaning, when I came and I ate, I was eating it b'mezid. But I forgot that I made this one dependent upon this one. And then when I ate this one also b'mezid. But I forgot that this one was dependent on that one. So therefore, again, it becomes shogeg. However, though, he says, he's going to be chayav. Right? He says, in such a case where, during the time of the achila, I forgot the Shevuah on the other one, but I remember the Shevuah on the friend, so then that's mezid. So in such a case of mezid, you're going to be chayav. What about if both of them were b'shogeg? You're going to be patur. Both of them are going to be mezid. They're both going to be chayav. Arishona, if you ate the first one first, so therefore it's going to be the same achloka that we said in the name of, right, of Rabbi Yochanan and Resh Lakish. Okay? Amar Rav Mari. Rav Mari comes and he says, Afanam nami tanina, we also learned it in a Mishnah. The Mishnah says, Arba nedarim itiru chachamim, there were going to be 4 different nedarim that the rabbis permitted that it's not going to be chal klal. Nidrez ziruzin, a neder, which the only reason why you did it was lezarez et chavero. Meaning, imagine right now, I want you to actually accept something. And you're so I make a neder, lezarez otcha, that you're going to do something. Right? So then it's not actually chal. Another one is nidre avai, a guzma be'alma, meaning we already know from the beginning that when you made the neder, it was an exaggeration. It was not a real neder. Number 3, nidre shegagot. Right? What does it mean shegagot? Right? It's a mistake. Number 4, nidre, right? Nidre onsin, an honest. So these are the 4 different types. So says the Gemara, nidre shegagot keitzad. What's the case of nidre shegagot? Kunam, if a person is going to come and he's going to say kunam machalti v'imshati v'niskar shachal shata, he made a kunam if he ate and drank. And all of a sudden he remembers, I didn't eat and drink. He forgot. He didn't realize. He completely forgot. Or she'eni ochal v'shelo shteh v'shachach v'achal v'shata, and then he did eat. Tanya la, so we said keshem shenidre shigagot mutarin, so took shevuot shigagot mutarot, meaning the neder in the shevuah here is a todovar, meaning the neder in the shevuah is going to be the same halacha, that it's going to be b'shogeg. There's no problem. So it comes out, even a Shevuot is not going to be like the Darim, that if it's going to be Nishba al Tnai and he forgot the Shevuah, so it's not going to be Chal. Just like Nidre Shegagot. So it comes out exactly like Rava, that if you forgot at the time of the Achila Rishona, it's not called, right, Ha'adam Bishvuah. So Eifa Tani Shevuot Be'Rabba, right? The Amura Eifa. Eifa was his name, right? So Eifa, he taught, right? He learned, right, the Masechet Shevuot in the house of Rabba. Pagabe Avimi avuchua. So Avimi, his brother, found him there. Elmaleh, and he told him, Shevuah shelo achalti, Shevuah shelo achalti. Mao. What if the person said Shevuah shelo achalti, Shevuah shelo achalti? Again, double. So what's halacha? Elmaleh, he told him, what's halacha? Shevuah shelo achalti, Shevuah shelo achalti. No, without Ataran and Darim. And now he's over on the Shevuah. How many is he chayav? 1. Chazak Baruch. No, 1. Shevuah shelo achalti, mahu, Elmaleh, eno chayav lachat. Elmaleh, he comes and he says, yeah, the same thing. Shevuah shelo achal. Elmaleh, he says, ishtabasht. It's a mistake. Sharei yatsa shevuah la-sheker. Right? The second that he put out his word, right? It already is a Shevuah l'sheket. And the second one is another Shevuah then, right? Which you should also be chayav. So then he comes and he asks him another one. Yeah? He comes and he asks him, which one?
כאילו סתם זה שיקר? זה לא היה נכון?
That's what he's saying. He's saying since yatsa Shevuah l'sheker, so therefore it's two different Shevuot, right? So therefore he's saying no. I'm sorry, it should be two. The other question that he asked: Shevuah shelo chal teisha ve'eser mau. Imagine he comes and he makes a Shevuah. He's not going to eat 9 figs and 10 figs, right? Which means that at the beginning he said 9, and then afterwards he comes and he says 10, right? And at the end he did eat 10. What's halacha? Is he going to be chayav on both Shevuot? Right, was that the first time he said 9, and then afterwards he said 10, and he actually ate 10. Elmaleh, right? He says chayav kol chavacha. You're going to be chayav on each one. Elmaleh ishtabash. It's not true. If he didn't eat 9, you couldn't get to 10. Meaning, at the end of the day, when you were nishba al teisha, right? So then bichlal the Shevuah is also eser. So therefore, the second Shevuah, right, is not actually chal. I made a vow. I'm not going to eat. I'm not going to eat 9. By me eating 10, I ate 9. So therefore, the second Shevuah that I'm not going to eat 10 is not chal. Because the second that I ate 10, I already ate 9. So that's it. So it's 1. 1 second. Shevuah shelo chal eser v'teisha. What happens if a person comes and he does a Shevuah, right? It's better always to look ahead. So he says Shevuah, yeah, he says, no, don't ask. Just pay attention. Shevuah shelo chal eser v'teisha. So he comes and he says this. Imagine a person comes and he makes a Shevuah that he shouldn't eat 10. And then he made a Shevuah, he's not going to eat 9. Right? Now, how much did he actually eat at the end? He did eat 10. What's halacha? Eno chayav elachat. So he comes and he says, you're only going to be chayav 1. Elmaleh ishtabash. Again, you made a mistake. He says, eser hu lo achil, hateisha mi ha'achil. He says, you didn't eat 10, but you did eat the 9. So therefore, he was mutar to eat the 9. So it comes out that according to the Shevuah Shniya, it's actually Mosif an Isur. And therefore it is going to be Chal. So Amar Abaye comes and he says, Zimnin de Mishkachala lehad de Eifa. Right? Sometimes it could be that the din of Eifa, that he actually comes and he says that when you swore on 10, and then afterwards you swore on 9, Kedemor is actually going to be like Rabba. Right? Why? To Amar Rabba says, Shevuah shelo chal tenim v'anavim. You remember this case? A person comes and makes a vow that he's not going to eat tenim v'anavim. Figs and grapes. The Chazar v'amar, then he says, Shevuah shelo chal te'enim. He's not going to eat figs. So the truth is, we always spoke about the other case around. You remember we spoke about that if a person comes and he made an isur kolel or an isur mosif. You remember like a Shevuah which is mosif. So first he said one thing, tenim, and then he added on tenim v'anavim. So he said migu that it adds on one. You remember by the nazir and everything? So migu that it's adding on something of heter. So it's going to add on also to the isur. Here it's the exact opposite case. At the beginning, he went and he said Shevuah that he's not going to eat both tenim v'anavim. Then he made a second Shevuah again just on the tenim. So the question is, right? In such a case, it comes out that the Shevuah Shniya is going to mosif on the Rishona, that even by itself is already going to be asur. So it's going to be chal the 2 Shevuot. So if he's going to eat tenim and anavim in the same day, he's going to be chayav 2. Kaftet Amud Aleph ve'achal tenim. Vifrish korban, he separated a korban. And afterwards, he ate anavim by itself. Havilu anavim chetzi shiur, so the anavim is chetzi shiur, and chetzi shiur, you're not going to be chayav korban. Hachanami, so to here, it could go down in a case where he says, Shevuah shelo chal eser, a Shevuah that you're not going to eat 10, and then afterwards you made a Shevuah you're not going to eat 9, and then you ate 9, and you separated a korban, and then afterwards you ate the 10th is a chetzi shiur, and then a chetzi shiur, you're not going to be chayav. Meaning, when you came and you made the Shevuah first on the 9th, and then you made a Shevuah on 10. Now, how much did you eat? 9. So you ate the 9. You separated a korban. And what happens is that now you eat the 10th one. The second that you eat the 10th one is a chetzi shiur. I don't say that it goes automatically back, that now you ate 10 and not the... You ate the 9. Now you separated a korban. Now you have a korban on the 9th. Now when you ate the 10th one, that's a chetzi shiur. You have to eat another 9 now. But you have to get a completely separate, right, count. You have to start the count again.